All right, so I'm a little embarrassed for that thumbnail. I like to watch. It sounds pretty creepy, and it would be creepy if I wasn't alone. I've got empirical evidence. I've got statistical data that says people like to watch people. And nowhere is that more fun than on the cruise ship. In today's episode of the Lido Loca cruise show, I'm going to clue you in. I'm going to tell you the best places to people watch on a cruise. And that way all of us weirdos don't have to feel like we're alone. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Thank you for stopping by. If you enjoy that daily cruise content, I would invite you to hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of the episodes. All the cool kids are doing it. All the people watchers are doing it. Just hit the button. All right, so let's go. Let's talk about people watching. Now, when I started contemplating this topic, I'm like, okay, I know I like to watch folks when I'm on the cruise ship. I know my wife's a bit of a people watcher, but are we alone? Well, look, I did do a poll today in the YouTube community and also on the Lido Loca cruising community on Facebook. I will reveal the results later, but let's just say this, I'm not alone. So let me tell you 10 places that you can watch people on the cruise ship for maximum people watching enjoyment. Let's start at the beginning and at the end. The embarkation and debarkation process is a really great place to watch people. Now, unfortunately, I guess there's a lot of forms of people watching. If you are into seeing people get uptight with each other and possibly get mad, embarkation, debarkation is a place to do that. I find myself, as I'm waiting in line, completely bored, waiting for my chance to go through security and to get checked into the cruise ship. I like to watch couples that seem like they're not having the best time. I'll admit it. I'm sorry. That doesn't seem good. But I'm always interested to see the guy. Well, you can see the girl getting annoyed, right? Oh, I'm tired of waiting in line. Why are those people moving? Why are we not moving? And it's always great when the guy who doesn't really care about those things is trying to pacify his significant other. Oh, I don't know why they're not moving. Maybe that line just opened up. Like trying to come up with these excuses. There's stages in these conversations, right? Have you ever been in one of those conversations where you start out and you're trying to just placate, you're trying to empathize, you're trying to say, yeah, I don't know, we should be moving. That's right, I'm with you. We should be. But then the conversation goes on and on and on. I'm not speaking from firsthand experience. I'm just saying I've seen it. And then finally the guy's like, just I don't know. And then it's on like Donkey Kong. The tension before the cruise even starts. It should be a happy day. Everybody knows that embarkation is a pain in the butt. So why be uptight during it? But yes, you can tell people that, but there's going to be people that get uptight during embarkation. And if you look around, if you have a keen eye, you can see relationships starting to crumble before the cruise even starts. And likewise, at the end of the cruise, you could have had a great cruise, but people get uptight when it's time to get off of the cruise ship. Hopefully you enter into the debarkation line with your family, with your significant other, in solidarity, that regardless of what's going to happen, you're going to be in a good mood. But sometimes it's not that way. But I think in debarkation more so than embarkation, this is when you see people getting uptight with other people. Did that guy cut the line? How come they're in front of us? We got here first. What's going on? Why is the line not moving? Yeah, it's fun to people watch at debarkation. Now, let me get the elephant out of the room. If I was a younger single man on the prowl for a lady, I definitely would be going to the Lido deck to see what's going on. The Lido deck, you know when you go to the Lido deck that there's going to be people there without the same amount of clothes that they have during the rest of the day. And I'm sure there's been people out there with a wandering eye just trying to scope out the girls or scope out the guys. And look, no judgment here, but as an old married dad, it's not a good look. If you're an old dude going out there just to check out the young ladies, again, it's not for me to say anything, but people notice it. I've seen that. I've been out walking around and been pointed out like, look, that dude is just checking. This old guy is just, I don't know, man. If that's your scene, that's fine. But if I was a younger single man on the prowl, if I was a young lady looking for a hot hunk, I might wander out to the Lido deck and see what it has to offer. But again, as we get older in life, I guess we have to be more mature, a little less creepy, shall I say? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Like, if you're on the Lido deck, are you okay being under the watchful eye of everybody out there? Is that weird? I'll leave that one up to you guys. But if you want to people watch, you can do it on the Lido deck for sure. You can watch the people watching people on the Lido deck. That's a whole level. That's like Inception right there. I'll just leave it at that. Now, sadly, one of the places I've come to watch the people a lot is at the buffet. I am super interested. I didn't used to be this way, but of course my friend Don turned me on to this idea that people don't act right sometimes at the buffet, and now I'm on the hunt. I'm looking out for people that are licking their fingers and touching bread and not using the tongs. And another thing that's fun to watch, you know, and this is probably not going to reflect well on my character, but if you get up early and you get one of those primo spots in the buffet, you know, when it gets busy, and then you just kind of sit there even after you're done eating and you see everybody wanting your seat, people will have a reaction. It's, again, I don't recommend doing this. Not really something that I've done. I'm just saying it for fun. I'm just saying I've never, just hypothetically, I've never, you know, singly sat at a table for 6 and then just eyeballed families trying to find a spot to sit. I've never done that. But I could see people doing that just to see what people's reactions are. Don't be that person. But, man, if you get to see something like that happen, it's pretty entertaining. The misery of others. We love it. That's horrible, right? But is it true? Is it true for you? Could be true for me sometimes. I don't like that about myself. But, yeah, the buffet. Watch people eat. Watch people try to find a seat. It's a great place for people watching. Another place I like to go to watch people is karaoke, and by its nature, it's where people want to be watched. You know, if you're willing to get up and sing and have a good time, you know that the audience is going to be there either cheering you on or making fun of you behind the scenes. Now, some people take karaoke way too seriously, and I may be in that camp, and some people just like to get up and have a good time regardless of your motivation to sing. Just know that it's where people congregate. There's going to be people that never sing a day in their life going to karaoke just to be excited that they're not singing because they're watching you. They're either impressed or they're laughing to themselves, and they're just reaffirming, hey, I will never sing at karaoke. Look at this guy. Look at this girl. They're too good. Or look at this girl. Look at this guy. I would be embarrassed if I sang like them. I do think that's why people go and watch the people at karaoke. Again, a lot of this people watching, like, you're going to have to work hard to have noble intentions for doing it, but it's in our nature. And again, I'm not alone. I'm really not alone in it. I would love to hear why you guys people watch. Do you ever go to karaoke just to hear the bad singers? Is that you? There's people out there that do it. And look, if you don't believe that there are people out there just looking for the misery of other people for entertainment, let's talk about pier runners. That's right. Another great place to watch people is when you're back on the cruise ship and you know the cruise ship's about a half an hour from leaving port. If you're one of those people that line the rails to see if anybody is going to miss the ship, well, you're a people watcher, and you're a people watcher that are kind of hoping that people have a hard time. One of the funniest things, if you watch pier runner videos, there's not too many people like, oh, I can't believe they didn't make it back. There's a lot of people egging them on. You should have got here earlier. You're going to miss the ship. And I think people want people to miss the ship. I'm like, isn't that the culmination of the great pier runner story, is that they didn't make it? As if the door closed right before they got there and we all got to laugh at them standing on the dock. I'm not making this up. This just isn't in my psyche. There's video evidence on the internet that people seem to get pleasure when the pier runner doesn't make it back to the ship. It's a great place to watch people. This is another place that's Inception style, multi-layered. It's fun to watch people watching people run the pier because it runs the gamut. There's sympathy. There are people that are happy that people are missing the ship. It's fun. It's kind of fun. People watching. Pier runners. Now, this one may not hit your radar as a people watcher, but another interesting place that I found to watch people on the cruise ship is at the piano bar. Now, the piano bar probably could fit into the larger bar lounge scenario for watching people, but I'm going to single out the piano bar because it's an interesting situation. The piano bar, there is a performer there that is almost inviting people to interact with them, almost inviting people to heckle them a little bit. Kind of an interesting situation, especially late night piano bar. If you start to banter with the pianist, the guy, the entertainer at the piano bar, you're most likely going to get the smackdown. It's kind of fun to watch as people get a little more intoxicated. They get a little more lippy with the piano man, and the piano man will shut them down. They'll just insult them. They'll treat them like they're hecklers. They'll slam them. They'll say horrible things about them. And if you're just an observer of that, it can be kind of entertaining. It's you get a show, you get the piano man, and then you get the other show of the piano man doing crowd work. It's a good time. That does lead me into just bars, lounges in general. It's no surprise that when people imbibe in alcohol in big amounts, sometimes they are they're a little less reserved than normal. So sometimes you can see a pretty wild exchange between people in a loving way. You can also see people get a little bit angry. You can see people get a little bit loud. You never know what people are going to say. It's a fun place to people watch. If you go to the lounge, you get yourself a drink late night, and then you try to spot the people that have had too much to drink. Sometimes you can get a show, and you never know what the show is going to be. Sometimes you could be a part of the show. All of these people watching things, you got to be a little careful. If you're completely an introvert and you don't want to be a part of the festivities, you got to figure out how to watch from the sidelines without being part of it. But sometimes in the bars and the lounge, it can get a little crazy. It can be a lot of entertainment there. It's a good place to people watch. Now, we talked about it on the Lido. Sometimes it's fun just to watch people be pretty, people be dressed up. Formal night is a great time to people watch, especially in the atrium. If you like to see people dressed in the nines, if you feel that physical attraction through just the visuals, a great night on the cruise ship is when everybody gets dressed up. And get dressed up too. There's nothing better than getting dressed up and hanging out with a lot of people that are dressed up. And it's kind of like prom. Remember prom when you were in high school? You knew that there were going to be some people that were elegant, and you knew that there were going to be some people that you were like, wow, that dress does not fit. I can't believe you're wearing that out in public. You get that on the cruise ship too. You're like, wow, who would have thought that somebody would have made that fashion choice? I'm so glad you did. It's so fun to watch on the cruise ship. Formal night, a pretty fun time to people watch. And again, especially if you're like one of those people that are super uptight about formal night, you can go out and count how many pairs of flip-flops and jeans that are trying to get into the dining room. That's a whole nother aspect of it. And again, all of this multi-layered, you can watch people watching people on formal night and seeing who's freaking out. It's, formal night. Did you really wear that? Who else thinks formal night's kind of like the prom? Leave a comment below. Number 9, another cool place to people watch would be at deck parties and theme nights. This is pretty straightforward. Deck parties, a lot of people get together. They're led often by the cruise director into coordinated dancing and just a general good time. I tell you what, I enjoy, not really even just for the people watching, but just for the vibe of it all, is to, go out on the Lido, for the sail away or the white night party, grab a spot on the rail at one of the higher levels, and then just watch the crowd have a great time doing a synchronized dance, just really kind of getting into the mood of it. And every once in a while, I like to jump down there and be a part of the crowd, but it's pretty fun to watch. You can kind of step back from it all and realize that there's a whole group of strangers having a blast, being led by, energetic cruise director, really just trying to live that cruise life. One of the most happy places, I think, to watch people is when they're doing things like the deck parties or even the theme parties, like in an atrium where it's an 80s night, where people are wearing costumes, where people are getting dressed up. All that is so much fun to check out the people, and it's great to participate, and it's great to watch people. Deck parties, theme nights, it's really a fun time to be a part of the crowd. And the last place that I would recommend if you're wanting to watch people is to go where people want to be watched. There are entertainment shows, there are shows on the cruise ship where they ask for volunteers. And I've got to assume that if you volunteer, you know that people are going to watch you. Therefore, you want to be watched. And people that want to be watched are sometimes the best people to watch. So I would recommend if you see a love and marriage show, if you see a battle of the sexes, if you see a quest game show, you know that you're going to be able to see people that are screaming, please look at me. These are people that are going to be acting out. These are people that are going to be telling their most inner secrets. There's people that are going to show you things that you didn't think you would see on a cruise ship sometimes. So any of these shows where they're asking for volunteers, and then even in a more tame way, like The Voice on Princess Cruise Lines, any of those places like dance competitions on Carnival where people can volunteer and be put in front of the crowd, you know it's going to be a good time because you don't have to feel weird about your people watching. They're people that are raising their hands saying, look at me. And those are a lot of fun. But they can be interesting too. I did make a video about the Quest game show where it went completely wrong, where they did want the attention of others and it turned bad. I will leave a link to that video above. Make sure you check it out. And I did promise some data to back up the fact that many of us are people watchers. I didn't even let these polls run that long. This is the poll from the Lido Loca cruising community. 254 votes for people saying, yeah, I watch people. Only 36 people saying, no, I don't. So an overwhelming majority people in the Lido Loca cruising community. And then just here, after 94 votes, 68% of the people, they watch the people. 32% said no. So, yeah, it's not an uncommon thing. People watchers unite. Let's not live under the creepy stigma. Everybody knows that fine line between good old people watching and being creepy. So don't be creepy. Let's just say that. Keep it in check. Be wholesome with your people watching. Again, it's multi-layered. Is it wrong to watch people getting in a fight? Maybe. Is it wrong to, creep on somebody that doesn't want to be looked at? Absolutely. But it's human nature. Where's your favorite place to watch people on the cruise ship? Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching the Lido Loca cruise show today. I would just invite you again to subscribe if you want this information, especially in a troubled time. Hit that subscribe button with the notification bell. Show your support for the channel by hitting the like button, and then watch one of these videos. Again, here's that video of the quest show that went wrong. Got a little naughty. Check out that video. My name's Tony for the Lido Loca cruise show, and until the next time, I'll be watching. And we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.